Welcome back to Data Nerds. I'm Mike Brown, joined by,
Pat Healy.
and this week is an interesting one because Pat's got some counter movement jump force plate data, uh, but I am controlling the screen share. So,
It's a tag
so if
team
you're
effort.
watching, yeah,
Yeah,
if you're watching, it'll be interesting.
it's a team effort here. No, we got it.
Yeah. All right.
Um, yeah, so to get started here, this is counter movement jump testing from a high school freshman soccer player. She had a patellar dislocation in this past May, like late May. And had a pretty bad one to where I was not the initial therapist, but was unable to bear weight really on that leg. I was having a little bit of a troubling time getting range of motion at the beginning, but needless to say, she got all that back. She got back to walking. Um, and actually now she's back to playing soccer against AMA. Um, I was not the one having those conversations. That was my colleague, but due to it now being the school year and soccer season, this player can only really come in on Saturday on the weekends. So because of that, I've kind of now been the case therapist on this one. And so we have done isometric and isokinetic testing on in the past with this person, and just hasn't been really looking too great. I can't really remember the numbers off the top of my head, but needless to say, they were conclusive enough to be like, hey, you probably shouldn't be out there playing soccer full minutes and everything right now. But she is. And so since she was doing all that, I figured, well, if she's doing sport and she's been playing in a few games full minutes, then why not just do some jump testing? So what we have here is three sets of three counter movement jumps to where I was telling them, ready, go. They look like they're all very consecutive, and that's because I paused it. Like the actual data collection, I would pause it
Gotcha.
during their rest. Yeah. So figure like 2 minutes in between each of these three bouts here. Um, and so
Can
doing
can you
this,
actually elaborate on that? So it's 2 minutes between sets. How many, like how long between reps?
Uh, pretty much just enough time for them to get stable again. So
Gotcha.
stick the landing, return back to starting position, indicate that they're not moving and they're stable, and then ready, go. Um,
Cool.
Hands on hips, of course. Um, and then, yeah, so we did that three
Can
times.
you actually, sorry, can you also explain why hands on hips for people that may not be familiar with a counter movement jump?
Yeah, so from a standardization perspective, I like doing hands on hips, just to keep it clean across the board. But also the downward swing from the hands can give you some more momentum, and can kind of give you some weird peaks along the way. Um,
Mm.
and so that's why I don't do hand swinging. Now, to be fair, if you are looking for like max jump height, then yeah, you should probably use hands. You should not use hands on hips. You should allow an arm swing because that added momentum of the arms down is going to just help with propulsion on the way upwards. But I'm not doing this to see how high can this person jump. I'm doing this to see, can this person apply the brakes equally, maybe not equally, but like, can they apply the brakes on each leg interchangeably, or are they biasing one side? So, um, needless to say, I think the results are kind of what I was expecting, because if this person doesn't have the requisite strength from like isometric and isokinetic testing, then I would imagine them not to be able to apply the brakes uh, well either. So let's go
Mhm.
ahead, Mike, and let's go to page 10, please. Scroll all the way down that puppy. Okay. So unlike the last data nerds, to where my patient was actually moving very fast. Um, Again, the marker we're kind of looking for is like 1.2 to like 1.25. I use the 1.25 meters per second as our velocity metric. And so, as we can see, those first two, she is moving very slow. And like, I didn't need this data to tell me that. I could tell just based on like how she was moving. I'm like, oh, like you're doing this very slow. So let's get faster. And so that was the whole premise of this series here is normally the cue I would give is I want you to pull yourself down as fast as you can towards the floor and then jump as high as you can. Um, but with this person, because they were having such a hard time with the actual pulling down to the ground, that's all I did. Because in Virtue, we'll see this in the data also, that jump height should also just increase as this velocity
This.
increases as well. Um, so I just told her, hey, don't think about, jumping as high because you're doing pretty poor on the actual speed of it. Let's just focus on just pulling ourselves down as fast as we can. And she actually did pretty good at this, even just with that simple cue of just, hey, like pull yourself faster, pull yourself faster. To where by the last two, she was actually hitting the metric that I'd be looking for. And so if we're going off of like the motor learning kind of perspective of training, still very much in that high like cognitive aspect of it. So just to give you a little like foresight on kind of where do I go of all this is I'm not going to see this person for I believe like 2 to 3 weeks, and I just gave
Nice.
her a yeah, right. I just gave her a bunch of like snap downs and counter movement jump as like warm-ups and as training prior to soccer with the idea of like just focus on pulling yourself down and seeing if she comes well not with but when she comes back, um did she go from that like cognitive aspect to now actually just like implementing it from the first, one or two jumps. Um, but yeah, so we can actually just pump it up back up to the top here, Mike, and we can just go on down as
So
yeah,
here or further down?
yeah, no, we can skip down one here. I don't RSI mod, get that out of here. Uh concentric impulse asymmetry. What do we see? Left. Which leg is injured? Right. Okay. So what does that mean? Uh, Pushing a lot through left leg. All right, next slide.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was just reading this too. So is it what's interesting to me too is this doesn't seem correlated with the eccentric velocity at all. There's
Correct.
actually like the
It's scattered.
slowest she was
Yep.
one of the lowest. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And there's almost it's fun. There's like boop. Like this first set goes down, this set's just kind of mixed, and then this last set
Goes
goes
up.
up.
Yeah.
Could you see that as like fatigue at all? Or
You
or do you not think she was like fatigued? Like do you think fatigue was causing this, or do you think that's just like randomness?
I would just give it up to randomness at this point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just like with her not like she's learning how to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I would give it up more to randomness. If she actually like
Big
was
CV.
executing this like pretty well off the bat, then I would maybe say fatigue. But like since she's very much still in like the learning aspect of this, but
Gotcha.
even with like us in like the very cognitive phase of the motor pattern here, still heavily biasing that left side. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
So then going down.
oh for sure. P1 concentric impulse, it just means the first 50% of the concentric phase. Again, left side. Next slide, please. What's this? P2 concentric impulse.
Hey.
Ooh, a little bit on the right. But what do we see? Left. Um, P2 is just the last 50%. So, uh, just 50% of the concentric until takeoff. So,
So this would be like in a counter movement jump. It's like from full depth to like to halfway out to so like go P1 is still a more flexed knee, and then P2 is like going into like into
Correct.
straight knee.
Yeah,
Okay.
into like quote unquote triple extension.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, not much to see there. So
Yeah.
then down more.
Yep. Eccentric deceleration, impulse asymmetry, left.
Lots of left.
So, yeah.
And what is this?
So this is the applying the brakes. So when she is getting near force at zero velocity, this is the impulse of that phase prior, so the braking phase.
Gotcha. Is
Yeah.
this something you care about a lot? Like, would you care about this more than concentric at this point?
Yeah, for sure. Because like if you're applying the brakes, your ability to concentrically go is determinant on the phase prior, which is the eccentric deacceleration. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do care about this a lot more than the actual concentric. It's just I think the concentric is a byproduct of this. So
Yep. And
uh DSL
ooh,
RFD. I okay, so this is my bias. I would love to learn more from people who maybe use RFD more on the Vol decks. With this being RFD, this is a very like complex calculation that has to be had through the machine. And so like it's not just a simple like here's the force at this time frame, which is like very easy, you know. This is like an actual calculation that has to happen. And so I don't necessarily put as much weight into these just because the actual I can't think of the word right now, but the actual like utility of it because of the percent error might not be as great.
yeah. For the audio only people, what are we looking at with this graph?
We are looking at the eccentric DXL rate of force development asymmetry left to right. Um, and so essentially, as this person's going through the braking phase, how are they applying the force, the rate at which they're applying the force? So,
And so, sorry, like, what does the graph show? Because this one's,
oh,
I said ooh because this one's
oh, because there's
different
some right
looking
on
from the
it.
other
There's,
graphs.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows that 3 of the 9 reps, they actually biased the right side, which I guess maybe I should have talked about this earlier. What I look for in like quote unquote normal is are you flipping between limbs? Okay.
Hmm.
So like, are you able to demonstrate that you use either limb interchangeably and is the asymmetry pretty minor? So, um, needless to say, I think this person is not that because a lot of this is biasing their left and the asymmetries are quite drastic. So also
Yeah.
let's
It's a
let's
huge COV.
I was about to say let's not mention the COV of this metric here, this eccentric DXL RFD being
Yeah.
118%,
Yeah.
much higher than the 10% that we would hope for.
By an order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So like with it flipping side to side too, would you then look for the average to be about zero, where they kind of like cancel each other out?
Yeah, right. Like that would mathematically be
That'd
sound.
be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least under
Um,
like that like 10%, right? So,
yeah. Cool. Did you have anything else on this bit?
no, I hate this metric. Just kidding. I don't hate it. I just don't feel like I maybe know it as well or use it as much. Peak landing force asymmetry. So
This looks good.
this one is pretty, yeah. So, actually showing like pretty near symmetrical side to side um
On average,
on
there's some big
average.
outliers there.
Yeah. So I'm not putting a ton into this. Like this could have just been like they landed wonky, you know. But
That COV is screaming.
yeah, 843. Yeah, that boy's out the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right, let's go on to the
Um,
next one, mate. Let's see. DXL impulse. Um, this actually is just a so funny enough, Mike. Go to the next slide.
it's just the reverse.
It's just the reverse.
Yeah.
So skip
Yeah, that's funny.
depth. So this is interesting, isn't it? So
It looks
just
the same.
just it looks the same. Isn't it? But isn't it interesting when you say, "Hey, I just want you to pull yourself faster towards the ground." They also went lower,
Yeah.
right? Interesting.
Yeah,
So,
that's I'm like, yeah.
um, now that we've kind of attained those last two reps of the velocity that I'm looking for, I'm also going to be keeping an eye on that counter movement depth. So I see it 35.5 to 35.8. I want to see that kind of standardize as well because this is a strategy, right? So like when this person comes back and let's say things are looking better, but that counter movement depth is like all over the place, then they're just using different strategies to accomplish the task. This depth is kind of your depth and the velocity are kind of like your underlying base to like know have you set yourself up for good metrics coming afterwards.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, and are you looking for a certain number there, or you're just looking for consistency in that
I'm just
number?
looking for consistency. Yeah, because each person's going to have a different strategy, right? But like, I want to make sure that their strategy is consistent while we do this.
Cool.
So, all right, next jump height. Uh,
Interesting.
interesting, right? Yeah, didn't really get a whole lot higher uh throughout the whole thing, which is interesting. But
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
care? No.
What's interesting to me is like it's probably just, random randomness, but number 8, which was in theory one of the ones at like that looked how you want it to look
Yeah.
or closer to how you want it to look, had the
Yeah.
lowest jump height.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm curious how much of this jump height is kind of just like, pretty average across the board here, like, doesn't vary much because they're just like pushing all through that one side. And so like the ceiling's kind of capped on it, maybe. You
Mm,
know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next one, Mike. Next. No,
In
same thing.
inches. Okay.
Nah, it's the
Ooh, inches.
same thing. Freedom units. Peak power to body mass. I don't care.
Just jump height.
Yeah.
That's the same
Don't
thing.
care. Forces zero. Oh, this one is good. This one is good. This is important. All right. So this is very important because forces zero velocity means like you are at the highest braking phase or braking point. And so what is the force you are putting through to then reverse yourself the other way? And I would say this one I definitely put a little bit more weight into because of that, because it's going to be the most eccentric force at that time period. So as we can see, left, all left.
So I have a question, and maybe other things show this, but do you care about the absolute force, or because this is all asymmetry, so like
Correct.
both can be weak,
Um,
but
do I care about the absolute force? I would say, what would that give me more than the asymmetry at the bottom? Like, well, how would that be different then?
because the asymmetry doesn't show like if she's like because she can both sides can be weak here, and one is just way weaker, or
Mm-hmm.
both sides can be strong, and one is just strong but weaker than the other strong one.
Hmm. I see what you mean. Uh, right. And so I think that's
It's a
where
ratio. We
the
don't like ratios.
correct. And I totally see where you're coming from on that. And I think that's why having those like strategies kind of in the back of your mind also are super important because um yes, like if you do not do this fast enough, Mike, you are probably just going to be weaker on both sides or stronger, quote unquote, on both sides because you are not having to display the eccentric capabilities, right? And so I think that's where the strategy and having that basis of making sure they're hitting the requisite velocity to get down there, because that is what's going to extrapolate, because that velocity is what you're going to have to try to revert. So knowingly, you're going to have to apply more force if you're moving faster. Um, so I think it'd be cool to look at for sure, but I maybe this is just again my biases, but I put a lot of weight into that velocity to like kind of standardize that hey, they are moving fast enough to then have to revert the force from moving that fast.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think something that could like extrapolate on this also is like those loaded counter movement jumps. So like
Mm.
let's say you are like unsure and they're showing like very good metrics on just a regular counter movement jump, give them 30% or 60% of their body weight in the form of like a hex bar or like dumbbells. And that has been shown to kind of like extrapolate it more so. And it might actually give you like a better picture because
Cool.
now
Yeah.
there's actual external load that they have to revert.
Cool.
That did that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. That helps.
Bet. Sick.
Next.
Next.
Okay.
Meh.
What is this? Force at
Force
zero velocity.
zero.
Okay.
Eccentric
And
peak,
then peak. Okay.
asymmetry.
I feel
Um,
like it's the same.
similar, yeah, right? Like should be pretty much the same, right? Like even if you look at those numbers there, like the graph, I believe itself
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah. They're very, like, these last two are the same
yeah,
or almost the same. Yeah.
literally looks the same. Go figure,
Yep.
right? The most
Yep.
eccentric peak force is at the bottom of the counter movement when you have to apply the most brakes to revert.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
why I have multiple things that say the same thing. No,
Yeah.
this one's different, but
Concentric peak force. Yeah, so this would be
it
different
still
than like
looks
the
similar.
P1, P2, right? This is just like overall concentric peak force. Where are you the
Mm,
highest and which side are you the highest on? Left.
yeah.
Go figure.
All left.
Eccentric
Eccentric
duration.
duration.
Um, again, another like strategy metric. I would imagine this to kind of standardize itself if the velocity is standardized, right? Because velocity
Yeah.
is a byproduct of time. So
Yep. Yeah.
that's on
Okay.
math, baby.
Braking phase duration. So it's just now we're breaking up the eccentric phase into now a different part,
Yeah,
a smaller section.
yeah. So needless to say, that's all the pages. And what's the biggest takeaway? This person loves their left leg. Why? Because their right leg is weak and not wanting to accept that load through a deep knee flex position. Um, like this person will very obviously flex at the hip to
Mm,
try to achieve a lot of like squatting or like knee over toe positioning. And yeah, it really just shows that the human body it'll get it done even
yeah.
if we are
Life finds a way.
life finds a way. But you know what life doesn't find a way for? When you try single leg hopping. Show me the other vault data, Mike.
The fall. Wait, I have one more question on braking phase versus eccentric duration.
Yeah.
Do you want the braking phase to be a large part of the eccentric duration, or do you want it to be a small part? Or is there like, we want it 50-50 or something like that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I
next.
don't, yeah, I don't know enough about I haven't looked much into that one to be honest with you, Mike. I would I yeah, I've not looked into it. Again, probably just a byproduct of like strategy stuff. Um,
Cool.
so
We'll put a
what
pin in that. We'll figure it out eventually.
yeah. We'll get back. Yeah, if someone's listening and they know or want to know, not want to know, they do know and want to educate, by all means, please, please, please. Okay, so we got single leg hopping next. Um, so why I did single leg hopping also is because we were already doing ankle based plyometrics in session, and I'm like, hey, if we're already doing this, like, why don't I just like get some numbers on this? So this is a 3 by 10 reps single leg hopping on each leg, switching side to side. Um, and needless to say, this also wasn't looking too hot. Um, let's go ahead and we can scroll down here, Mike, and we can kind of take a peek. So, what's the biggest thing when we're doing any kind of hopping is RSI. This one is jump height over contact time. Um, so we have a average 0.09 to 0.13 with the average of 0.11 on the left side. And then if we look at the right side, we have an average of 0.07 to 0.09, average of 0.08.
That's what it looks like. So
I
honestly,
would,
not too different.
what do you mean?
The 0.09 to 0.09, like there's some overlap left to right
Oh, yeah, like
for RSI.
yeah, I wonder how much of it is like the first, because on both of them, the first set is like the worst. So I wonder how much of it
Hmm.
is just like a warm up and then like you actually get
Yeah.
true representation as they get into it. Um, but if we go down, I think what's interesting is, oh, these are all of them broken up. So
Oh,
we don't,
nice.
I don't think we need to
Yeah.
really go into all these,
Look at
but
all of those. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
lot. These are definitely higher though, like on average. But anyway, um,
Anywho, uh,
jump height. I
mean
mean,
jump
that's
height,
pretty similar.
pretty, yeah. And then if we go down to the right side, oh, the metric is above it, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't see a
So,
bigger difference there.
yeah. So I would say the biggest thing, and this was like visually what I saw also, is that this person was not getting off the ground as high on that right side. Um, and so
This
if
in
we,
centimeters.
yeah, show me the freedom units. Mike,
Are they the next ones?
maybe.
No.
Wait, there's,
Um, oh,
nope.
do they not have it? Boo.
Oh, no freedom units. All right, let's go back down. Because those are just the mean jump heights, and then we're gonna look at the actual jump heights collectively. So there's you can kind of like see the first 10 right there, not really getting super high. They did like this little wave up and then back down, and then the last one they got up there. And then second set they got higher, and then third set they did the best on average.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and look at the right side now. Again, same kind of thing. They did like that little, like the little pyramid. And then the second one, they got better as they went out. And then the third one, they got better as they went out also. Um, it looks like they
We're
stopped
missing
a
a
little
couple
bit
hops.
short. Yeah. Um, but let's go ahead and go down because I think contact time is what I'm most interested in. Yeah, here we are. Contact time. So average on the left, 319. So that's in milliseconds. And then right side, 322. So this person is on the ground for the same amount of time, but just not. getting up in the air as
Yeah.
high. Um,
Yeah.
so why might that be? Um, I think there could be maybe a few factors into this, and Mike, I'd be interested in your perspectives as well. But I think this could be due to either residual calf weakness from period of like immobilization following the injury. This could just be like Achilles tendon and like ankle stiffness, or this could go up the chain to where it's knee stiffness, to where this person isn't able to uh, like adequately not transmit, but like adequately produce force from like the eccentric portion of the hop, right? Like they just cannot
Yeah.
have that tendon strength and stiffness to like then get some height out of it and have like the actual like pop, you know?
Yeah. I also just think about like at least how I cue single leg hops is because I'm trying to get primarily calf Achilles. So it depends on how you're cueing it, but I usually cue for like keep as straight of a leg as possible. And so then if they don't have the quad strength to be able to maintain a stiff knee, then they're just going to be going through just that like little extra excursion at the knee, and that is going to take that, it's not a long time, right? It's only 3 milliseconds difference
Yeah,
here, but that could just be adding just a little bit of
a little
time,
bit.
making it harder to produce force going up
Gotcha.
too.
Yeah. So I can say I did not cue to keep a straight as a knee.
Mm.
I know I just, all right, hands on hip. I want you to hop on single foot, try to be quick off the ground as fast as you can. That's what I said.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, so maybe that contact time is like a little bit of a ability to compensate on one side versus the other to like get off the ground as fast as you can. But the byproduct is still the same to where the actual ability to
the
get up off
jump
the
height.
ground is just
Yeah,
not there.
yeah,
Yeah. So uh, I found this very imperative just because clearly there is something from a tendon stiffness standpoint and like actual like athletic readiness that is just not there on that right side. And I just, in my opinion, think that this is really a melting pot for a potentially poor situation lining up for this patient if they were
potentially
put in a
worse
position.
injury,
Huh, what's up?
a potentially worse injury to happen.
Yeah, and like I think this is like the second part of the conversation outside of the data that I was thinking about earlier today is the what is the balance, right, between us providing information, us giving our medical advice and not like fear mongering and like
Mhm.
maybe it is fear mongering because we're looking out for the safety of our patients and we don't want to have them be put into a dangerous like potential situation that could, then make the situation worse and, you know, joint health worse and everything if another injury were to happen. But yeah, I'm curious about like your thoughts on that, Mike. I know I just kind of like
Yeah,
sideswiped you
no,
on
that's
a question
good.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, because I actually wanted to get away from the data a little bit to be like, okay, well, what do we do about this? And like, yeah, I think about, to me, it's not really, it's not as much fear mongering because you have the data.
Yeah.
Um, and to me, especially that counter movement jump data, and the like eccentric stuff, like, and I guess like, because I'm like, where can you really see a big difference in this? Probably so we didn't talk about it, but this peak force, like there's 100 newtons of difference side to side.
Hmm.
Like showing that to her, and then especially like with the isokinetic data you guys have too, is being like, if you don't hit these metrics, like there is a 2x times risk of further injury if you continue playing, sort of thing. Like I feel like that's less fear mongering, and that's just full informed consent. Because like if they don't know that this is going to be um, that they are like the extent that they're putting themselves at risk, other than like, oh, you're going to be put at risk, then I don't know if they can make the fully informed decision of like going back, especially as like she's a freshman, like
Mm-hmm.
a freshman high schooler. Like she's got so much more scholastic play left that I don't know. I would heavily lean towards like just get this right now, so then you can keep playing the rest of your 3 years at school, and enjoy it, instead of like potentially just be stuck in an injury cycle because you didn't fully rehab it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm just
I had no skin in that, but I was just thinking about it as like a little side thought there. And then to go into what you were saying, like what do we do with this information? So, um, one I already mentioned about trying to get that eccentric velocity higher. So like trying to improve the ability to pull themselves down for that counter movement. Um, to then come back and see, okay, are we getting faster with this, and are we seeing a change on this? And truthfully, like I think this is where you can't skip steps, right? Um, if she never got the requisite strength, will she ever be able to, adequately interchange limbs on that at the, like quote unquote correct velocity? I don't know. My gut would say no, right? Like you can't fake strength.
yeah,
Well, I guess you could
you
by
can, but
I'd say you can by shifting and moving and all these other patterns. Um, but the numbers are still probably going to show the numbers, and it's still probably going to show deviation towards that left side. Um, so still keeping up with some max strength stimulus, trying to get minimal effective dose because she is in season right now. Um, and then trying to improve that eccentric velocity. And when it comes to the single leg hopping and such, giving some kind of support through like a front foot elevation or a uh, post, like a squat rack, like minor hold to emphasize just the pop of it all. Because if they are having too hard of a time without it, then we need to give a little bit of a figurative crutch to just understand what it feels like to really get that true like pop off the ground, and just do that repeatedly, and then take away whatever crutch or assistance we have for it and see if we have some transference there.
yeah, to me, I like doing that with a like a band assist too, like to physically like force them to pop up a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
cool. Anything
sweet. Yeah,
else?
that was a long episode, but hopefully people enjoyed.
Yeah,
Um,
data.
yeah, well, that has been another episode. As always, if you like what you're listening to, please leave a nice like on Spotify or Apple Podcast, and or if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, all the nice things, and follow us on Instagram at Reading Rehab Pod. Thanks.